People is the voice of God. The tables are turning, your eyes are opening. Welcome to the revolution.
People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom.
Want freedom.
Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah.
Come on!
Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing.
As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution.
Come on, people.
Come on,
come on, people.
Let's move.
Come on, people.
Come on,
come on, come on, come on, come on. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah.
Come on!
Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing.
As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution.
Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
The people's revolution.
This is a peaceful people's revolution, and it has only just begun. is a revolution against a galloping dictatorship. This is a revolution against joblessness and hopelessness. This is a revolution against property tax. Our revolution now continues as a people's revolution, and it has just begun. Our revolution continues as a peaceful people's revolution, and it has only just begun. Join us in this people's revolution.
The voice of the people is the voice of God. The tables are turning, your eyes are opening. Welcome to the revolution.
People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom.
Want freedom.
Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah.
Come on! Cause this is the revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution.
Let's unite and stand for something.
This is the revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution.
Come on, people.
Come on.
Come on, people.
Let's move.
Come on, people.
Come on.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah.
Come on! Cause this is the revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution.
Let's unite and stand for something.
This is the revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution.
Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
The people's revolution.
Rebuild, restore, rebuild.
This is a peaceful people's revolution, and it has only just begun.
Restore, rebuild. ready to erupt. The people get hopeless, nothing in the box. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The voice of oppression is a double-edged sword. A revolution, a revolution. It's freedom we fighting for. A revolution, a revolution. We can't take it anymore. A revolution, a revolution. It's freedom we fighting for. A revolution, a revolution. We can't take it anymore. Revolution. From the dictatorship, freedom. From corrupt politics, freedom. From the lies of the lips, freedom, 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 freedom. From the dictatorship, freedom. From corrupt politics, freedom. From the lies of the lips, freedom.
douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. Yo. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. Yo. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics.
Good evening and welcome to douglAR Politics. We started one time, businesses, you all have to give people better service. I always eaten by Rib Shack for years now. This take a while, this take long, average 25 to 28 minutes. And on occasion over the last years, I tell them, you know, when you're serving good meat, good beef ribs, I like the beef ribs, meat is not to be burned like charcoal. So sometimes I have to make sure, because you know Trin Begonian, they like to burn the meat like it come out like you want to write on the blackboard with it or something. So I call Rib Shack and I tell them medium rare. Now I like it medium, but I tell them medium rare 3 times. I say, boss man, make sure and tell the chef, the man who barbecuing, medium rare. Make sure he don't burn it. Make sure he don't do it well done. Make sure it's not crisp. Make sure. Rib Shack, Mukurapo Road, look at this. Well, boy, Trinidad and Tobago, the Rib Shack, I've been eating there. You know, I try my best. Sometimes they just don't get it, that you're not supposed to burn meat to a crisp, to turn a piece of meat into a piece of wood straight out of a burnt forest in California. But I told the gentleman on 3 separate occasions, do the beef ribs medium rare, please. What's that? The thing burn like they forget it on the barbecue pit for about 3 hours extra. Medium rare, no? Medium rare. I eat it because I'm hungry. I pick it up. What I go do? I don't want my money back. But Rib Shack, bless all your boy. I done. I really done. Look, medium rare. The thing crisp, crisp, crisp. It nearly flaking off. For you, I'm sorry, because I normally go grill for you and they do it perfect. But you see, when you're trying to spread around supporting people and things, Rib Shack, I'm sorry. I done it. I ain't want my money back. I don't want nothing. I good. I eat it. Right? I chew till I get cramp. I get cramp here and cramp here. Right? But from one bad bit of service to a fantastic bit of service. McDonald's. My daughter loves she McDonald's. And she has some test days that she doing with Bishop's Anstey Junior School. Me, I know, like if them going for masters. So she had 2 tests. Well, your boy take her by McDonald's. The manager there was the most courteous. She was answering. I didn't even know whoever was taking the order. So brilliant, so courteous, so helpful. Right? It was just amazing. So, and she worked there Friday for the boss man or whoever in charge. I went there at 2:20 p.m. Right? On Friday. Whoever was the manager in charge of McDonald's on Cipriani Boulevard there in town, at 2:20 Friday, big up that girl, give she a bonus. Brilliant. Staff was excellent. And to First Citizens Bank. First Citizens Bank. We Bank. Nice Bank. Big Bank. Good Bank. I ain't know what they're doing with Barita. But good bank. Local bank. Nice thing. People own peace. Very good. Well-managed bank. I know all you're doing with Burrito, but good bank. Could you fix McDonald's links machine thing? Because you have to always go in the ATM and get cash now. Because for the last 11 days, for a Citizens Bank machine at McDonald's on the boulevard next to Tong Restaurant, it ain't working. So for Citizens Bank, all you do something now, man. All you inconveniencing people, and my daughter like to go there, I don't go there. What you want me to do? And we see McDonald's partners with Coca-Cola with artist Huggins in the news today. McDonald's partners with Coca-Cola, local artist Nicholas Huggins to design special limited edition cups for customers. Local, brilliant. You see, McDonald's, Ripshack, I hard luck, boys. How to fly the national flag with pride. Our country's in distress. So some people might say this is poetic justice. However, to fly our flag upside down is a disgrace of untold proportions. Remember when Trinidad and Tobago went to play one of them games we lost at, we draw with Bahamas and all kind of thing. Puerto Rico nearly beat we. I think it was the Puerto Rico game. The whole team, the staff, the officials, everybody stand up to the anthem and the flag was upside down. And I get vexed with them. Well, I realize I should not really get vexed with them, because if by the Prime Minister, by where the Prime Minister, Mr. Tutu Suit does walk, if they could fly upside down, who is the rest of the people? Run it, Archie.
And this is Tolmaya Castle. And this is the Whitehall. And, but wait. But what the ass I see in here? No wonder the country upside down.
Can you believe that? Whitehall, the office of the Prime Minister, Whitehall, he wanted that hall because from Mason Hall to Whitehall, he make sure your money went there to fix up that so he could go inside there to fly the flag upside down. All you see that is a sign where all you find this Rowley. And as we talk that no vaccination necessary for cricketers at Under 19 World Cup. So what's the messaging? What are you talking about? So Under 19 cricketers from all over the world could land here. From South Africa, from Zimbabwe, whoever qualify, could land here without vaccination. But we can't go in the beach and unvaccinated getting discriminated against here, can't go and eat, can't go and watch a movie, can't go and take a drink, can't go in a restaurant, can't do nothing, can't go by the river, no vaccination, nothing. They come in to shut down, lock down and block down, dividing and discriminating against unvaccinated. But cricketers come in to play Under 19 cricket into a Delta variant #1 death rate in the whole globe, and them coming unvaccinated, and we saying that's okay, come and play cricket unvaccinated. Really? Make it make sense now. Because the science wobbling. The science wobbling, it wobbling. Sometimes it's so, sometimes it's so. Sometimes it's down, sometimes it's up. And I don't know science to be like that. Dismal Black Friday sales in South. Junior Rigolo, wait. Junior Rigolo, you wasn't telling we last week sometime South booming. Yes, Madam Speaker, it booming. You wasn't telling we that sales booming. I asked Archie about Hyatt Atlantic and Archie tell me about close, open, same thing. And you was telling me that sales in South, the Southland, businesses booming, everything is great. But you are where they find you, boy. They pull you out of St. Anne's in the South. Black Friday sales were dismal in some parts of South Trinidad yesterday, as business owners could not offer the bargains of the pre-pandemic years. At High Street, San Fernando, JD's exclusive offered 33 and a third % bargain, and strict COVID-19 protocols were followed. Protocols were also strict at Sasha store, where only 5 people were allowed in at a time. Security officers were seen at the entrance of the stores with masked customers, but while smaller retailers offered discounts where there hardly any rush, no rush for bargains. But this clown say, everything great, it's booming. Point, mother, all I want for Christmas is water in my taps. But the minister man had time to play guitar. Look at this. And I don't know, Archie, if you could zoom in, Archie, please. And while Archie is zooming in on this picture here, yes, I want you all to look carefully, especially if you're defending PNM, defending stupidity, you're defending incompetence, you're defending poor performance, you're defending your team that is dragging the flag. Imagine if this was your mother. Just imagine that. Your mother went into town to get something for the house, for Christmas, some drapes, some paint, something. Went to buy some medicine maybe in the pharmacy, and a little rain. And this is what your mother had to do to try and get back home to you. All you find that right? All you find that right? And don't say it always so. It's not always so. When Jack Warner was Minister of Works and Transport, when Suraj Rambachan was Works and Transport, them solved that. It used to have to take at least 2, 3, 4 hours for that to happen. Because they dig some ponds, they had the pumps working, they clean the drains, the local government working in conjunction with the Works and Transport. So for something like that to happen, it had to be a real amount of rain. That was a little thing, a little 34 minutes rain for the most, and somebody mother, somebody grandmother up to the thighs in nasty, disgusting water, and the beat-em thing I even fix it at the sewer. Oil prices plunge on new virus concerns. So call me but said about, oh God, yes, we going on balance, small pin, and them sort of say yes, more recusal, more thing from a brother, more thing from a father. And we say, oh, buildings, rental, yes boy, Alan Warner, Rowley, start to go, oil coming, big prices. Oil prices plunge on new virus concerns. Oil prices plunged more than 10% yesterday, their largest one-day drop since April 2020, as a new variant of the coronavirus spooked investors and added to concerns that a supply surplus could swell in the first quarter. Moody's downgrades NGC rating. Small pen come in the Senate and say disgusting lies. Curtis Williams, UNC, all of that. Oh, we only lost 233 million. That's manageable. That's no big thing. That's not devastating. When I ask him, but what is that? What figure will be devastating? He bought live sport. That he joke. When live sport providing life opportunities for young black boys to stop killing themselves, using Minister of National Security, and everybody dead in now, black, brown, middle, in between, all down in Westmoreland, people getting carjacked and bullet flying over their head, the whole country going through, and you as Minister of National Security, and now you hand over to the most incompetent pump city rasta in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. PNM is a total failure, total disgrace, and now Moody's downgrades NGC because of Stuart Smallpin. That dunce, that abject, total, complete failure. Any portfolio, I never see nothing. So that man has a massive portfolio, all kind of thing, and all fail. And Rowley say he's the best. How is that? What is there that we're not seeing? We're not seeing where the money pass, maybe. But when we see in performance, we see in national security, crime, police are nothing, fire brigade are nothing, fire station mash up, prisons mash up, prisoners, all kind of riot going on, no food, nothing, no overcrowded prison officers under stress, lifeguard can't even lifeguard because they don't have no change room, all kind of thing, nothing work. In energy, everything shut down. He negotiate price and the whole appoint Lisa's collapse. He is Minister of Energy, Petrotrin still shut down, nothing going on, no foreign direct investment, but Rowley say he's the best. So what we not seeing? Whatever them doing, they're doing it in the quiet, they're doing it in the dark. Economists, remember I was talking about the mood, about the IMF last show, and I was saying, but how this IMF report sounding like Coleman Butt, how it's sounding like Brian Manning, how it's sounding like Convent Girl, how it's sounding like Keith Rowley. Remember I tell you that? Talking about the government's great COVID-19 response and how they impacted and controlled the infection rate and the devastating effects of I say, but we live in where we are #1 in debt rate in the world, and the IMF is saying something like them in Balize House. And then I analyzed and I said, when Colm said it was an IMF consultation report, which means they meet with the government, they meet with Imbert and Brian Manning. Brian Manning and Imbert tell them things, and well, IMF will believe them, and then they might go and try to get some independent, information and so on. And you know where they go to get their independent information? By the PNM Central Bank Governor, who's Rowley business partner in Inez Gate in Tobago, $1.75 million. But he's a business partner, but he didn't get the 500,000 discount that Rowley and the daughter get. He paid full price, full hog. But he and Rowley are neighbors and business partners. So they went there for the independent advice. So the IMF report sounding like the illogical Balize House, because what we live and what we see, and the debt that we see, and the devastation and the separation and the job loss from the COVID-19 failure, how them could say, how IMF say? So I get confused. Well, not confused, but I know poor IMF. But now, to put some real weight behind my point, BG 8, page 8, Business Guardian 8, Thursday, November 25th, 2021. Economists. Moody's and IMF reports show weak economy. This is done by Gisha Kaulesa Alonso. The recent statement by the IMF press confirms what it already knows, that the TNT economy is out of balance on both external and internal accounts. But the key point here, they interviewed Terence Farrell. Now, Terence Farrell is Mr. Intelligent PNM. He gave PNM all the plans for Tobago about 4 years ago to implement economic strategies, youth development, education, foreign direct investment, diversification of the economy. And the PNM in Tobago do none. But Terence Farrell still is a PNM. He ain't tell you vote nobody else yet, he stay quiet. He was the head of the Economic Development Board in 2015-16 inside there to advise Rowley on what to do to diversify the economy and to create jobs and to buffer global shocks. He resigned in frustration after 18 months, but he didn't say the truth. When the election come around in 2020, he say basically vote Rowley, vote PNM, but he know the truth that Rowley don't listen. He had personal experience with Rowley's ignorance and stupidity. Well, listen to Terence Farrell, who is not a UNC. According to Farrell, although the reports came almost simultaneously, the two organizations have fought. He explained that the IMF is concerned with the country's external and internal fiscal balances and its obligations under the IMF articles, while Moody's is concerned with the country's external debt profile and its ability to meet its obligations to creditors over the medium and long term. Neither organization is expert in development policy and what is required to engineer growth in an economy like ours, Farrell said. He noted, and listen carefully, that the IMF staff are enjoined to be positive about member countries and not to be overtly and publicly critical. See gradual improvement in the near term due to improved production and prices in the energy sector. Okay? So they are not, the IMF officials on the ground are taught, don't be overly critical, Try to look for that little glimmer of hope. Now I understand what the nonsense we were reading. Remember, I read it for you, and logical people are going, we live in one thing, and them writing something that's not here. It got worse. Further, said Dr. Terence Farrell, it is also obliged to accept the government's promises about what it will do to restore balance on the external and fiscal accounts, even if past experience suggests otherwise. So they are duty bound to believe Colm. And Carl jump out and say, yes, look, the IMF, forget all you're seeing, forget all what you're feeling, forget the pain of job loss, forget that your brother lost his job, your wife lost his job, your uncle lost his job, and all you had no money. Forget that, you know. The IMF had to take my word, and I am a bastion, says Coleman, but of truth and integrity. Never mind, last show I had to read for you where Curtis Williams said, Coleman, you get it wrong again. Coleman Bob always getting everything wrong. Not by mistake. So, we must demand accountability, says Curtis Williams. Thursday, November 25th, BG3. He said, and look at who we must demand accountability from. Look at them two clowns. We require a shift in culture that must start with average citizens demanding that we want better for ourselves, that we are not prepared to settle for things that we know are unacceptable, and that we must hold all in leadership roles to account. Notice I said all, not just politicians. There must be a burning desire for justice, for accountability, and for the higher quality performance. Everywhere we turn, there is strong evidence of this, and for many, the burden is so much that the alternative is to shrug one's shoulders and move on, and in some cases, migrate away from the problems. This is what Trinidad and Tobago has become under Rowley. Immunity, interference, misbehavior in public office with criminal investigation. Move on. Kick the can down the road. Constitutional crisis, police service commission collapse. Go in the parliament, electoral college, no guidelines, no vote, vote and go, no debate. Move on. No police commissioner, change the law. Move on. Corruption, NGC, that's manageable. Move on. Shut down, lockdown and broke down. Move on. No border patrol, no borders lockdown, borders porous, COVID coming in on Kobo and getting sprinkled. Move on. 31 people dead. Move on. He continued. People waiting between 1 to 3 days for a bed at the public hospital. This was an article printed by a reporter. That the Minister of Health could so brazenly pretend he does not know this to be true shows he is either out of touch with his portfolio or he prefers to plead the fifth rather than confront a problem that citizens, ordinary citizens, should not come to accept as the way it is in the public healthcare system, but rather that we are not willing to have a system that treats citizens in this way at their most vulnerable moments. He continued, it is the same question I ask about this time. The Minister of Finance is prepared to spend on Twitter trying to pretend that Moody's downgrade should not be focused on by the media and others because the IMF is predicting growth of over 5% in the next fiscal year. If the minister is honest, said Curtis Williams, if this minister is honest, you could leave him, but I just feel to do this. I don't know why my wrist just, what is wrong with my wrist, boy? I don't know. I have to check the doctor. If the minister is honest, and if we were having serious discussions, he would admit that both the IMF and Moody's point to an economy almost completely reliant on energy prices and production. An economy that has serious downside risks, and one that he has failed over 6 years to diversify. But he prints in the newspapers for you, paying some $12,000 full color page ad, an ad to convince you that the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority is beneficial to you, that it is beneficial to you, the citizens, to have him appoint a PNM board to oversee your taxes, seizure of your assets, how much tax you pay, when you pay it, if you pay it, and how you pay it. That he must appoint a PNM board, and this PNM board must appoint a Director General of the Revenue Authority, and then the Director General and the board could appoint other Deputy Directors General, and then one Deputy Director General Enforcement could be selected by the Independent Public Service Commission. Just like the Commissioner of Police is selected by the Independent Police Service Commission. And that person, that one person is supposed to give you the confidence that this PNM will not use taxation as a weapon against you, the citizens, against opponents, against anybody who disagrees with them. We are crippled with fear, frozen with fear of victimization in this country across the board. Billionaires, 100 millionaires are frightened when they give you information. Anil, don't call my name, don't call my company name, because these fellas have crippled this country with fear of victimization. And they are printing an ad here to tell you that when you move from the independent BIR, that has problems, yes, but they may try to solve the problems and make it more efficient and leave it independent. Their solution is that they must take control. So them already have control of the parliament, the senate. They have control of the president's house. They have control of the police service commission. They now have control of the police. They're now going to appoint whoever they want. That Rowley is basically the commissioner of police. They have control, and they're acting and crossing lines of boundaries into the DPP office, and we're not hearing anything. We're seeing that cases in the court about elections are being thrown out by emergency judges, so they're infiltrating the judiciary. We see that a PNM independent senator said that 2 Court of Appeal judges WhatsApp him and call him to tell him the UNC is disgusting, disgraceful. Jayanti Lakshmi Dayal, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the UNC's behavior was terrible, and they commiserated with that independent PNM senator. They're corrupting ambassadors and bringing them down into the political guile, into the fray. This is what the PNM does. They want to control the THA. They're saying vote for change. We change, 3 people vote PNM. And now they want to control your taxes. You probably have the ability to seize your property, attack you, audit you, check all your information. But they print this to tell you, hey man, have confidence in the Dwayne. He loves you, so he takes good care of your property. Well, you go ahead. But only 165,000 forms sent in. But what game you playing? You see, politics are a funny game. They play ignorant. They play they know everything. And then when they're under pressure politically, they try to get an escape route without admitting that they were wrong, that they were wicked, that they were malicious. In 2009, Rowley was saying to Patrick Manning, how dare you bring a property tax when the people are suffering? The bubble had burst in 2008 in the US, and there were some global ripple effects, and there was a slight economic downturn. Right now, we are in the throes of the worst recession. We are in a depression under this Keith Christopher Rowley government, with this man being the biggest dunce to ever hold the portfolio of the Minister of Finance. Every decision he has made has caused pressure on every segment. Our manufacturers are down. Our businesses are down. The non-energy sector is trampled. The energy sector has crumbled and has been decimated. We are not producers anymore. We are parasites sucking on the blood of the world because of this Dwayne. And now he tries to play a game and say, oh, 165,000 forms sent in, we need 200,000 forms. So he's basically going to come, right? Now that's an old thing, Archie, don't worry, that one. That was way back then, right? So now, well, November 30th is here. We will see if they cross 50%. If they do not cross 50% of the properties of people filling out forms, then it's squash day. They had to wait. They had to cool themselves. If they do not cross that magic marker, but that's what he's now trying to play now. He go come and say, oh, well, we didn't reach 50%, so no property tax. Vote PNM. We love you and we care. But here this Colm. You came in the Senate with your arrogant self when Senator Wade Mark brought a motion on the adjournment about the property tax, begging you to rethink it, to stop, to understand the pain of the citizens. that they cannot afford to pay that you have shattered the economy with state of emergency, lockdown, shutdown, and broke down poor decisions while the borders were porous, and you had no possibility of success in COVID-19 fight by locking down a country but leaving all the windows open. Wade Mark asked you, he told you, he beseeched you to show some heart, show some love, show some understanding that people did not want to pay this tax. They do not want to pay. They cannot pay it now. And you said that Senator Wade Mark lied. That you said the people want the tax. They want the tax because the PNM put it in their manifesto 2015. And it was there in 2020, and the people read the manifesto and voted for the PNM to win, and therefore the people voted for the property tax. That was your argument stated on the Hansard in the Senate. Call me but. Call me but. I read through the entire PNM manifesto 2020. And I have not seen anywhere in that document where you stated that the PNM will implement property tax. Nowhere in that document, call me but. So please provide me with that information, because I don't believe you willfully went to the Senate to lie and mislead the Senate, the Honorable Senate, in front of the Senate President. I read the 2015 PNM manifesto, and I have not seen where the PNM said, we will implement property tax. Call me but. I will continue to search. Until Tuesday, call me but, I will search. And if you could help me search, show me where in the manifesto for elections August 2020 or September 2015, on the PNM manifesto, it said the PNM is proud to announce that we will implement property tax. Please show me, because if not, call me but. I can't believe, would you really come to the Senate and mislead? Let me make sure you said what you said. Let Anil be very careful here with you, call me but. Archie, run it please.
CNC3, one of the more contentious issues in the last general election was that of the property tax. Where in the PNM's manifesto is this addressed?
It's not in the document. This is one of the things we need to talk to people about.
Let me take that one. I'm glad you raised that. I heard a UNC minister, I think it was the famous Prakash Ramadar, telling people that the PNM will bring back the dreaded property tax. Let me make it abundantly clear. The property tax has already been dealt with. So for anybody in the government now to be telling the population that this PNM coming into office will bring back that tax is the highest level of dishonesty, which has been the hallmark of this UNC government. So I'm
Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that a bill entitled An Act to Amend the Property Tax Act, Chapter 7604, be forthwith read a third time and passed.
Honorable members, the question is that a bill entitled An Act to Amend the Property Tax Act, Chapter 7604, be now read a third time and passed. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any against? No. I think the ayes have it.
Madam President, this matter of the property tax, this tax, I want to tell the Honorable Minister of Finance, is dreaded, it is draconian, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago, particularly the working man and woman, cannot afford at this time to pay any property tax.
To respond to Senator Mark, I reject his assertion. This is not an onerous imposition. I reject his assertion with respect to the population not in support of this. We have put it twice in our general election manifesto.
Last question, please.
Rear Ampli, CNC3, one of the more contentious issues in the last general election was that of the property tax. Where in the PNM's manifesto is this addressed?
It's not in the document. This is one.
Is this addressed?
It's not in the document. This
calm. Let's just say that being drafted right now by the UNC, the United National Congress, is a motion of privilege against you, Coleman Butt. Coleman Butt, you willfully misled the Senate, Coleman Butt. There you are with the Prime Minister saying it is not in the document. And you come to the Senate in 2021 this week and say, the people love the tax, they vote for the tax, they want the tax. You reject Senator Mark because it was in the document. Coleman, but you have been caught. You and I know what you are and what you have always been, but you get bold-faced now. So look forward to a little motion of privilege in the ocean. And to you, the population, those are the people that you vote for. Those are the people in charge. Anything come out of their mouth is lie. Lie after lie after lie. One short liar there and one big ugly Oreo liar there. Well, Senator Mark, well done, sir. I did not know if you expected to catch him like that. But you did. You caught the PNM lying as usual. As we talk about PNM, Guardian Opinion, page 12, Friday, November 26th. Serious missteps by the Equal Opportunity Tribunal. As you all heard, a judge was scathing against the Equal Opportunity Tribunal, the head of that tribunal, for discriminating against a young lady who was born without arms, yet had the wherewithal, the stick-to-itiveness, the brilliance, the discipline, the work ethic to become a lawyer and top the class, writing perfect with her feet. And she was denied the opportunity to pick up an appointment that she duly deserved because of her qualification, track record, experience, education, and achievement level. The judge was scathing, quoting General Grant, pure hate, and aki normal, a very serious judgment. And the Guardian says, her life experience, talking about Ms. Bajan, experiences, academic accomplishments, and professional qualifications should have made her a natural fit for the position she sought as a lay assessor with the Equal Opportunity Tribunal. As a court of record chaired by a legal professional with the same status as a high court judge, the tribunal has the distinction of being the only anti-discrimination court in the English-speaking Caribbean, which on the face of it would have been enhanced with the appointment of Ms. Bajan. However, a high court ruling this week has exposed some troubling developments, including repeated attempts by the chair of the tribunal, Donna Prowell-Raphael, to block Ms. Bajan from taking up that appointment. The High Court judge delivered a stinging rebuke to the tribunal, and Prowell-Raphael, let's add in PNM, former PNM candidate, PNM senator, former PNM senator, PNM. A High Court judge delivered a stinging rebuke to the tribunal and Prowell-Raphael as she ruled that they had acted illegally, even going as far as describing their behavior as pure hate and acting normal. But then, could you believe, the EOT chairman appeals Bajan's judgment? Equal Opportunity Tribunal, EOT chairman Donna Prowell-Raphael has signaled her intention to appeal the High Court judgment in the lawsuit over EOT lay assessor Vera Bajan being blocked from taking up her appointment. All you really have time to waste. All you seriously have time to waste in this country. All you ain't get, it ain't good enough that a judge hit all you the most scathing judgment in history. All you want to go back for more licks? Some people just like licks. As we talk about people who like licks, look at this. My goodness, PNM, I mean, you have a lot of money, man. $15,000, 3 papers, $45,000, buy 2 different sets, $90,000 per day. All you have to spend, to advertise, to try and gerrymander, rowleymander, and take and bribe an election in Tobago. But all you don't have money for hamper, all you don't have money for medicine, all you don't have money to stop flood in the hospital, all you don't have all kind of thing, oxygen running out in Point 14. But look at money PNM have. On top of this, $120 million to go up Balize House. Go and look at it. Where that building going up? Who paying for that? Who's the contractor? Where the material? Where the bills? But this is the biggest joke I've seen. PNM says, changing fisherman's future. 500 increase financial support. Fishermen could borrow $500,000, right, from the business development unit to purchase boats, rigging, and engineering. They could borrow it at what rate, and what fish they're going to catch, where they're going to catch fish, where the marina for them to catch fish, where the gas, the regular gas for them to go out and catch fish, where the stable environmental policy and marine development, where is the replenishment of the fisheries, where's the banning of trawlers, why the Venezuelans allowed to come in here and mash up the fishery, how they going to make money to pay back this loan? It's not a grant, you know, them say, oh, business development loan. Introduce tilapia, protect lives, $5 million making Tobago markets, fishing centers and landing sites safer and more marketable. Really? You all care about fishermen? $10 million upgrade to fishing facilities in Tobago. And Tobagonian, I done tell earlier, man had to swim out with gas bottle, man with bigger boat for sport fishing that nobody ain't coming because COVID-19, since Rowley invite everybody to infect the whole of Tobago. Tobago is like a little petri dish of COVID-19 now, when it should be a pristine paradise where a bubble of economic activity because of the stupidity, arrogance of Rowley to invite people over to Tobago without protocols, without PCR testing, without any check-in, without temperature checks, to just rush in and infect the whole of Tobago. That's Rowley. That's the man who says he from Mason Hall by way of Lekoto, and he navel string buried there, and he conquer lungs in a girl at school age back when he was a teacher, but talking about Lennox Smith and talking about other people. That's who you all thinking about voting for, and now they're coming to say fishermen. Rowley was the minister back in 1991, 1995 with portfolio for marine affairs. Did he build a marina for Tobago? Did he build a marina so fishermen could be safe, shelter their boats, get them clean, get the fish out, freeze it, get engine work on the boat, pump up the gas without swimming out? Because Tobagonian could swim, man just had to put the gas bottle in car trunk. And these PNM, after $40 billion, coming to tell fishermen in Tobago, vote for PNM? Are they really serious? Let me hear from some fishermen in general about the PNM. They can't even get regular gas. They might have put super. You know how much fewer miles you could go searching for fish with super in your tank rather than regular? Run it, Archie.
Right now, we as fishermen, we crying out, we want to be regular.
Fishermen suffering,
on behalf of the fishermen. I want to ask the fishermen one question. Since the gas price, we stopped getting the gas, how much fishermen went to work in the sea?
None.
We can't work, we can't buy the gas. How are we going to feed our family and children?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Right? We don't know. It's not feasible.
It's not feasible. The Minister of Energy said it is not feasible to bring the gas into the country for the fishermen.
And now, from one set of lies to the next, we number one in the world. Well, a man buff me. a partner tell me, send me a message yesterday and today. He said, Anil, you're attacking the man all the time. When the man saying we #1 in the world. You criticize the man. You lambaste the man. And now we are really #1 in the world. We are the #1 worst in the world with the highest death rate bar none. No country could compare to Trinidad and Tobago death rate in November and in the last 5 days. No country. We are clear. We are running away with the victory because of the incompetence. Look at today. Daily new confirmed COVID-19 cases and deaths per million people. Right? This was before. This was November 24th. Trinidad and Tobago was second. Well, look what happened later on. Well, this was with the cases, right? This is the cases. And on November 24th with the deaths. Look at where we are. Numero uno. Look at where we are. Okay? Cases. And we testing, them testing. USA and United Kingdom testing more than we, eh? Because all you know, plenty all you have it. All your home staying quiet because all you want to go to the death chamber, to the PNM ICU or HDU. All you want to go there. All you know what I'm talking about. All you taking a little private test and thing, or don't want to test and not record and staying home because you don't want the PNM and them know that you have COVID. Yes, what you want me to say? Because you all don't trust the PNM and I don't give you all wrong. The PNM has bungled everything. Let's listen, Archie. Let's listen to this clung, because now Trinidad and Tobago, we are #1 worst in the world, #1 death rate, #1 dead in, #1 disgusting, #1 crying, #1 in pain, #1 in sufferation, #1 in Facebook with rest in peace. I go miss you, gone too soon, because PNM in charge and elections have consequences. Let's hear the complete ignoramus.
In the world, #1 in the world. #1 in the world, #1 in the world, #1 in the world, #1 in the world, #1 in the world.
Well, my partner buff me because we are #1 in the world. Unfortunately, it's not #1 in the world that we should be proud about. It's not #1 in the world with keeping our 2 rocks pristine, creating a bubble of safety, making sure the porous borders were locked down tight and no one could get in. We're not #1 for the best contact tracing and the best testing. We're not #1 for the most recoveries out of the HCU, the HDU or the ICU. We're not #1 for anything positive. We're not #1 for vaccination rates. We're not #1 for efficacy of vaccination, because the majority of our vaccinated have CIAO. And the CIAO requires a 3rd shot to become fully vaccinated. So while all of you all were being told by Rowley, Imbert and Convent Girl that all vaccines are the same, and you felt confident in your 2 doses of Sinopharm, you now know that you have been put in danger. And I'm asking the attorneys, can a case be made for criminal negligence? Because it was clear, I was saying, the science was saying, that this Sinopharm vaccine was questionable and was not as highly tested and not showing the efficacy rates of the other brands, the Pfizer. Rowley came out and buffed the population and said all brands are the same, take what you get, and we're not even going to be discussing brands. And now we're seeing that if you thought you were safe with 2 doses of Sinopharm, you were not. Now, if a government tells you that you're safe, you're secure, you're sure with 2 doses of Sinopharm, go to safe zones, go on Palance, go on, and something negative happened, you contract it and you die, or someone else near to you died, Is there a case for criminal negligence? Now, after they told you that it was all the same, all were the best, they now come quietly and say, well, if you had Sinopharm, you have to get a third shot. Because after a few months, after 2 months, the efficacy drops. After 3 months, it drops further. How many people took the Sinopharm back in May, June, and then went into safe zone in October, thinking they were safe, but they were really naked to the virus? Is that not criminally negligent? Ask yourself that question. 365 COVID deaths make November the country's deadliest month. 365 deaths, and November ain't even finished yet. And while we're talking COVID-19, I'm not ready for that yet. A man come out in a tutu suit to tell you all for 44 minutes, we are the best. We handle COVID-19 the best. You know, ignore what you're hearing, ignore what you're seeing, ignore that you've been on lockdown, shut down, brought down, state of emergency, ignore that all your businesses have shut down, ignore that you have no profits, ignore that all your savings are gone, ignore that people are being foreclosed upon like never before, that people are suffering hungry and families cannot feed themselves, ignore the fact that suicide rates have gone up, ignore the fact that domestic violence has tripled in occurrences during this lockdown, shutdown, broke down, and pressure down. Ignore all of that. Ignore that Tobago people are dying. Over 105 people have died since he invited everyone to Tobago in April. Tobago is the place to be. And then Mumford, Mr. Mumford here, Mr. Tutu Suit, Mr. Stiff, starch out, look like he went. And you just run the memes, you know, as I talking, look like they had one with the fellas who, the funeral home who put the fella up who dead, you know, and they, oh yes, look, he and Rowley look the same. Look at that. Like he could do advertisement for this funeral home. And that man come to tell you, the people, forget all that you're seeing. Forget that graph that shows that we have the highest death rate in the world, that our infection rate is second highest in the world, and that we have failed completely, and that all of you, your family, your children are now at total risk. Forget all of that, because I say in my tutu suit here, this clown says, we did good with COVID, we did better than the developed world, we spent more resources, we ensured people have food, we ensured that people were taken care of. All blatant, total lies. But he come 44 minutes to tell all of that. Even the Express, you keep running them, even the Express had to attack this clown here. Daily Express, Friday 26 November 2021, the PM's anti-climax. With the population reeling from the news of yesterday's record-breaking 31 deaths, and 624 new COVID-19 cases, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley delivered a 45-minute address to the nation that was the definition of anticlimax. With an anxious nation poised and waiting for some indication from its leader of what new strategies the government intends to deploy in the face of a rampant and ravaging COVID-19 upsurge, Dr. Rowley chose to tread over well-worn ground using COVID-19 data that was 3 days old. A more out-of-touch address to a troubled country could not have been imagined. That is the Express. Listen to the news there. Says Judy Raymond. I mean, she may be upset because the horny goat weed don't work with man who was COVID-19, especially more than once. You understand? You put in all, even the horny goat weed under pressure. Editorial, Friday, November 26, 2021. Still in first wave thinking. This is the news there. The news there. The news there who is highly responsible for this tutu suit wearer here being in a prime. Imagine that. I can't even say this is the Prime Minister. This tutu suit man is the Prime Minister. Still in first wave thinking. Newsday. We continue to mark grim milestone after grim milestone with regard to COVID-19. Deaths have now passed 2,000. Officials say we are in a third wave. But while the COVID-19 situation continues to rapidly develop and mutate, there seems to be fatigue and malaise all round in terms of the state's official response, the morale of medical officials, and the propensity of citizens to take self-regulation seriously. Meanwhile, the state modus operandi is very much the same as it has been since day one. Media briefings and press conferences in which officials present information and issue strong appeals to the population. Some advertising and collaborative outreach with various bodies, vaccination sites all over the country. If we are in a third wave, the fight back against this disease still seems stuck in the first wave. The approaches and attitudes being witnessed suggest not much has really changed since the initial stages of the pandemic. Now, Archie, the Newsday has just realized that the PNM was a failure from the beginning, and the strategies that they employed back then failed, and they are the same strategies that they are repeating right now that have failed at different levels, at different variants, at Brazilian and now Delta, and God forbid the African variant coming. The Newsday now realizes this, Archie. On douglAR Politics and the United National Congress, we realized this quite a while ago. Please remind them, Archie. Run it.
I hear some of all them, oh God, I can't wait for next year carnival. There will be no carnival next year at this rate. There will be no carnival. Carnival for bands and people with fete and so on, they need to organize and have band launch all July, August. They need confirmation. We will only be at 8-10% population vaccination by then. By December, we'll be lucky if we reach 20%. We have to hit 70% to have a carnival, to open borders even, to even have a domestic carnival. So all you who say, oh God, 2021 was terrible, no money, no resources, no domestic investment in carnival. I can't wait for 2022. They have no carnival because your government is incompetent. Vaccination chaos. Go and check the facts.
No carnival street parades with unvaccinated gatherings, and quotes from Prime Minister's address. So no carnival because they are incompetent. The whole world have carnival. Our soca artists, our entertainers, our designers, our promoters, our bands, all going outside to make money. And yet the mecca of carnival, we are still in a devastating wave of death and destruction because of total incompetence of the PNM. All of you who try to say politics, keep politics out. Politics it is important. When you win, you get to chart the future and make decisions that impact the lives of everyone. This PNM has failed across the board. Nothing works. Nothing. The whole world playing sport, enjoying, moving forward. The whole world moving with concerts and big crowds. And we on lockdown, shut down, broke down, and we still dead and down. Highest death rate in the world. And while that is going on, people in charge, our we system, they're moving on up to the east side, getting new boards. So Dr. Miriam Abdul Richards was PNM ERHA board, PNM Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards board, PNM NIPDEC board. That wasn't enough for she. They put she on the PNM Angostura board. She's now the Queen of White Oak. Miss what? Miss Angostura. Queen of White Oak. While we dying, she work is to help keep systems in place to protect us, to protect our children, protect our people, protect our families. It is collapsed and totally failed. But she's Miss Angostura. She want to sell me White Oak. You don't want to sell me White Oak. I like my White Oak. I go drink my White Oak and soda. And then people are saying it's all right. Angostura PMO fit and proper. Angostura supporting the PMO. Angostura Holdings Limited says Principal Medical Officer Dr. Miriam Abdul Richards brings diversity and innovation to its board. Nobody asks all you go and make rum. Her work is Principal Medical Officer. We are dying due to failure of the medical office. Will she have time to promote White Oak? Look, let me tell you something. It's simple mathematics. Leave she there, no, because I want to do some mathematics for the Queen of White Oak, Miss Angostura. Miriam, let's do some, let's do some maths problems. I'm studying with my little daughter. She have tests. It started Friday, continuing this week here. Miriam has 24 hours in a day. She spends 2 hours in hair and makeup. She sleeps 5 to 7 hours per night. We assume that she's intimate for 2 minutes every other day because of the questionable efficacy of the horny goatweed on males over 70 who previously had COVID. So she don't waste too much time with lovemaking. So 2 minutes every 2 days, poor fella, right? She sits on 4 state PNM state boards. How much time does Miriam have to spend on a collapsing healthcare system with the highest death rate in the world? Please send your answers to douglAR Politics. Vishnu will collate the answers and see who got the equation correct. Now, it's a very serious situation. If there were 100 ICU beds and all are filled, the average death rate this week is 22 deaths per day. 100 ICU beds, 22 deaths per day. But each day, there are 36 new people requiring ICU care. 22 deaths per day, 36 people on average requiring ICU care. How long before the entire healthcare system will collapse or the ICU will be emptied? So it's a two-part A and B question for you children who are studying. And refer to Diyal Singh, right? Now, Diyal Singh says, on that note, our death rate is the highest in the world. We have been telling you. Tim Gopi Singh asked on behalf of Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the United National Congress since May, June, July for a commission of inquiry into every single COVID-19 death when it was seen that the incompetence of convent girl Davlin Thomas and others not listening to the senior specialists was creating a higher probability of death in our ICU in Trinidad and Tobago run by the PNM than in any other ICU across the globe. The statistics have now borne out that truth. And the response of the PNM is, convent girl, the Ministry of Health, there are plans in place for morgues with high COVID death toll. Health Minister Terence Diyal Singh said contingency measures are being put in place to deal with morgues filling up owing to an increase in COVID-19 deaths. So the PNM, they planned for death, but they had no plan for life. I'm not making this up, you know. The PNM plan to take care of we when we dead. Them have a plan to increase capacity at morgues. But they have no plan for life. But she have a plan to go and sell rum. And y'all think this is a joke now? This is funny? Is this funny? Doctors and nurses suffering from burnout. Nurse handcuff himself all across the place. Voice notes coming out. Nurses don't know what to do. We here, we have vaccine to throw away, right? We have vaccine to throw away because there was no education program, no communication strategy. There was no will to get the Rolls Royce of vaccines. They tried to convince us that while they were signing a $205 million US loan because money is important to them and we could be dead in, that we could not get the 351,000 Pfizer because that will impact the negotiation, the secret NDA with the Sinopharm vaccine, and we had to wait for that while everybody else was getting different, more powerful, potent, more powerful vaccines. We weren't getting it. Their decision. And now the one that they make we wait, and most of we have, you have to get a third shot to be fully vaccinated, not a booster, you know. You need a third shot of Sinopharm, you need a third shot of CL, that them was selling as the number one thing. All are the same and all are the best. But therefore, why, if we are under this pressure, why are no boosters being given? Why are no boosters being given to those people? Because the science is showing that your mammogram people, that the efficacy drops down, even with the Pfizer that I take, that after 6 months, if I went up to 96%, after 6 months, I will be down by 76%. So I need a booster to go back up. Why are people not getting boosters? Why are people with Sinopharm not being allowed to go and get a booster, a mix of Pfizer all over the world? They're saying mix and match, mix and match. We stop people from Canada from coming with Pfizer, Moderna, but we have see how that all we people dead in, and over 600 people fully vaccinated are in the hospital. Let me repeat. Over 600 fully vaccinated people are currently in the hospitals. So what nonsense are you all playing? What sort of division are you all playing? Because the vaccination that you give people safe zone, the science shows that they weren't safe when you put them there, because all of you all are taking your time to sell rum and not sell the truth, not tell the truth, and nobody trusts you all. And that's why Trinidad and Tobago is #1 in the world worst. That's why we are the worst, because we have the worst government, we have the worst system in place, we have the worst doctors in place. Imagine the next one, they gave an honorary doctorate for his performance in COVID-19 fight against the pandemic here. A doctorate for coming last, an honorary doctorate for coming last. And when Kamla Prasad Bisesa said fire this whole team, this entire team, way back in May, June, when people were dying all over with Brazilian variant that came in through the porous borders, not manned and not kept safe by the PNM, Express, all the attack Kamla Prasad Bisesa, they call her attack on these incompetents as vile. They said it was a vile, malicious attack. Really? Or was it the truth? And if you all had listened to Kamla and removed all of these, that lives would have been saved. I don't know if Vishnu sent that clip, Archie. He sent it or he has sent it? Eh? He sent it, Archie? Oh, you don't know? All right. The Kamla clip, or an image with the Express bad talking Kamla when she said that these young doctors, these junior doctors, do not know what they're doing, that they are not listening to the senior specialists, and that they needed to be removed and a whole new team needed to be put in place in order to save lives. Kamla Prasad Bisesa made that statement and was vilified and attacked by the media. Yeah, then we don't care. Run it.
This is government and their failed health team. Every day we see deaths, we see cases rising, but the same incompetent team of PNM Muppets remain in charge during this pandemic. They spend half of their presentation convincing and praising themselves that they're doing well, as if they themselves are unsure of the job that they are doing. But we all know self-praise is no praise whatsoever. In any other organization, in any other institution, when those in charge fail miserably, they are replaced. Changes are made. But in this PNL land, they are promoted. I call again for the incompetent failed team of the Al Singh and the others to be replaced and held accountable.
That was over 1,400 deaths ago. Let me repeat, That was over 1,400 deaths ago when Kamala said that. Y'all are playing games with people's lives. Kamala Prasad Bissessa made that call because she saw the inefficiency. She listened to the senior specialists. She saw the incompetence and she cared about people's lives. And what did y'all do in the media? Y'all didn't support Kamala, push for change so that we could save lives. Y'all attack Kamala and let people dead. You are all criminally negligent and it is not funny. As I'm speaking and taping this Saturday, I don't know. But probably 16, 17, 20 people must be dying all now. Would that have been the number if y'all had listened to Kamala when she said, remove this? Y'all don't remove these. Y'all promote them to sell white oak. And people are dying. We are number one in the world for death. Would you apologize, Express, for your scathing editorial attacking Kamala when she said this team that was there, it does not know what they're doing and you're putting people's lives at risk? Now that 1,400, 1,500, 1,600 and climbing up, people are dead because of it. Would you all apologize? I know you won't, because this country is sick. You play politics because you want to make PNM look good within their incompetence, their criminal negligence, and their devastating inability to perform at a moderate level. Because all your shareholders make money. Well, I hope you all enjoy all that money, because many citizens cannot enjoy their loved ones. And Kamala said it, and you all want to attack that woman every chance you get. All you want to attack Kamala. The woman said it. She called for it. She tried to beseech and beg to have some change. Now the Express, now Newsday, now all of you are saying that the government's response is still first wave. They're backward, they're monotonous, they're myopic, they're silly, they don't understand, they're not intelligent, they're not ahead of it, they're being defeated. You all now say that after you attack Kamala. If you all had supported Kamala back then, would those 1,400 people have died? Some may have still died. Would it have been the same amount? Really? So it's not important. Yeah? Because they're still alive. PNM still there. Rowley and them still recusing. Money flowing. But let me tell you this. In the hospital, a post put up by Kavita Singh. Doctors, nurses know what I am talking about because I just learned and spoke to them. That in this COVID-19 fight, there's a bit of medicine, a little thing that you need called methylprednisolone. And there's none in the hospitals. There is none. If you have that image, Archie, you could put it up. It's a Kavita Singh, a little post, a little Facebook post, but saying that there's no methylprednisolone in the hospitals in Trinidad and Tobago. And this is not an expensive drug, but it is a drug that is absolutely necessary. I don't care if Miriam Abdul Richards want to work 10 jobs, but where is the efficiency? How is it we have no methylprednisolone injections in the country? For those of you that don't know, there is none in the hospitals, and persons are being asked to buy from private pharmacies and bring it to give their loved ones who are warded with the COVID. There is none. The supplier is out. So now what? Shake my head. The Ministry of Health, shamefully. The Minister of Health, shamefully, is a pharmacist. Where is the accountability? Side note, there still isn't any prednisone liquid available locally. But when Kamala calls for the removal of all of them, you media people, you PNM biased media, and the Media Association now more of a PNM group than ever, so we can envisage a worsening of the PNM propaganda in the media, and that's what has our country in a mess. Because could you imagine that the media listened to what Kamala Prasad Bissessa said A prime minister who had proven herself to love people, love women, love children, love her citizens. All her policies showed that to enhance the lives of differently able, sport, culture across the board, opportunities, schools. And she spoke, she analyzed the situation, she investigated, she spoke to senior specialist doctors and realized that there was grave danger, that they were playing politics with people's lives. She was strong enough to come out and tell the population, these people, this team, Convent Girl, Dablin Thomas, CMO, Avery Hines, all of them who playing games with Joe Newell Scholarship Fund from before, come out because you're failing, people are dying. Could you imagine if the media listened, understood, did their jobs, and supported that call because it was made on the basis of fact? It was not made on any spiteful, vindictive, wicked basis. It was based on science, fact, death, destruction, and grave risk to the population. If the media had come out and supported Kamala, would that have forced Rowley and Convent Girl or Rowley to make a decision, to make some changes, to move some people around, to bring in specialists? And if that had been done, how many lives would have been saved? Because she made that statement 1,400 deaths ago. And look what we have here today. A little bit of rain, you know. A little bit of rain in town. And look what my citizens, my people, my elderly, you all might be the PNM, like the PNM Enterprise man when kidnapped people, children was kidnapped, asking me why I so vexed. It's not my children. Maybe some of you all feel that I should not be vexed because it's not my father in that hospital. And my mother passed away in 2008. Maybe you all feel so. But somehow I don't agree with you all. I see these people suffering and I feel it as if it's my father, my brother, my mother. That is me. Me, I know if that is a weakness. But look at my citizens of my beloved country. Red, white, and black. Trinidad and Tobago. Look at today what my citizens who are not feeling well in a country that has a man in a tutu suit who spent $28 billion with his friends and web of corruption controlling every cent. Look at what is left for my people. Run it, Archie. That's Port of Spain General Hospital, COVID-19 health facility. Archie, get ready to run it again, you know. That's my people, my citizens. Look at that. They're not well, they're sick, they have fever, they can't breathe, they're hoping for oxygen. Look, all you look at Trinidad and Tobago under tutu suit Rowley. Run it. If you all don't feel that, if any of you PNM people right now could be saying, so what? It rain, water, that is just water. It's God water. Eh? If you really feel that, well, we need more than prayers in this country. Elections have consequences. Do you think if Fuad Khan was Minister of Health? Do you think if Tim Gopi Singh was Minister of Health? Lakram Bodo, Rai Ragbir, Rishi Sicharan? If Kamala Prasad Bisesa was Prime Minister, that could ever happen? Take your time and think carefully. Remember the very first act of Kamala Prasad Bisesa, now swaying in she nice outfit, looking regal, nice brand, makeup, everything, great pictures, now swaying as Prime Minister. Rain, storm, flood, PNM incompetence for 8 years, flood out, east-west corridor across the board. Off with pretty dress, off with earrings, off with that, rubber boots, and out in the field, walking, taking care of people. Then calling 7 ministers together and blowing them out. Chandra Sharma, local government, Jack Warner, works and transport, all the other national security, Sandy, whoever, and ODPM telling them this must never happen again, and putting systems in place to fix the problem so her people will get service. So do you think if Kamla Prasad Bisesa was Prime Minister that my people will have to go through this? Are you all really serious? Think about it. While Tutu Suit in Tobago on the golf course probably bouncing our next woman down and go on to drink COVID-19 Gatorade, drink scotch and eat shrimps. This Tutu Suit clown going to Tobago to bribe people to vote for election. People dead in and that man do tape recording after recording. Me I know if he try to look good like Watson Douglas dress good. Me I know if somebody tell him try to dress better. Well, you fail, boy. You don't even look casket sharp. They look like they should bury you under the casket. And while you talking that, on that day Tutu Suit talk, 31 citizens of this tiny republic died from COVID-19. You know how many died in Venezuela on that day? 9. In the entire country of Venezuela, 9 died. And then we have to listen to the PNM, Ira Matur, the president, the new president of MAT, that has turned PNM, that MAT into a PNM party group. Ira Matur and the vice president, Asha, make child with John Jeremy, love up with Stuart Smallpin, young PNM on top of PNM simultaneously. Them in charge of the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Great is the PNM. And I ask Ira Matur, whatever her name is, nor do I care. When Kamala was Prime Minister, did you want some cushy job under Ministry of Foreign Affairs and you didn't get it? And now you're kind of bitter and it leave a bitter taste in your Botox? Is that correct? But listen to Ira Matur in a column. The Prime Minister and opposition leader need to unite to mandate vaccines to protect TNT. It's the only solution to the pandemic. This plague killing our people is equal to the country at war. Now is not the time to play the gallery for votes or oppose for the sake of opposing. Really? Kamla Prasad Bisesa has been opposing for the sake of opposing Ira PNM Matur. I just played a message about that she said way back to remove the team. That's not opposing for opposing sake. That's opposing stupidity to save lives. When Kamla Prasad Bisesa back in January 2020 wanted to debate COVID-19 and its possible entry into Trinidad and Tobago, on 5 occasions, the PNM said no debate, it's not important. What's your opinion of that? Opposing for opposing sake? When Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC said bring more testing, bring in contact tracing, let people come home through the normal path, don't leave citizens outside just like that. When she said put a security dome around the country with air guard, helicopter, radar, coast guard, army, police roadblocks to protect from illegal immigration, that was opposing for opposing sake. Where the flipping Brazilian came from, Brazilian variant, through the porous borders. Where the Delta variant community spread came, through the porous borders. What you talking about opposing for opposing sake? When she said bring a cocktail of vaccines, bring AstraZeneca, ask Prime Minister Modi for vaccinations. Don't just go this Sinopharm, bring Pfizer, 351,000, bring Moderna. That was opposing for opposing sake. Ira PNM Dunce Matur. Are you really serious? And you are still holding that position? Why don't you resign and go and join? I have no problem if you want to be a politician. But it is corrupt for you to be a PNM sycophant and pretend and hold a position that is supposed to be independent. That's the problem. Talking about let the opposition must now join with this clown in the Tutu Suit. Why don't you say let the Tutu Suit resign and come out? Because he has failed. He has had control of the whole budget, all the decisions, all the laws, the parliament, control, could do anything and completely fail. And you come in to attack Kamla? Lady, you are a sick lady. Really and truly. I shame for you. Really. When Curtis Williams get attacked by the same Rowley and small pin, and Curtis Williams was correct, a member of the media who did his job correctly. You had nothing to say. You don't even defend your own members against Rowley. So you are a defender of Rowley more than your membership. Me, I know what you do there. The Media Association is a total joke. PNM party group set up an office in Balize House and take this with you. Right? Both all you go and share up. Imagine, as we talking that, I see on Facebook, Guardian Media Limited, Facebook, spreading and sharing all PNM Tobago political advertisements, every single one, and putting every single PNM hashtag, putting caption, this is what the PNM will do for you in Tobago. And not one time did they put paid political advertisement. Not once. Guardian Media Limited, is that normal practice? To just flood the entire Facebook, all your shares, through your hashtags with PNM, and not put paid political announcement? What say you, Matt? What say you, Ira Matur and Asha Javid? Is that normal journalistic integrity, newspaper integrity for political advertising? Is that normal for Guardian Media Limited to just pump all PNM ads across Facebook with all the hashtags without putting and claiming, putting the disclaimer, paid political advertisement? Was it paid for, or is it voluntary, Guardian? Huh? We don't know. We can't see it. And all the hashtags. And imagine this, Ira Matur and Asha Javid. I have to do some revision with my little daughter for her test. She do creative writing day and a math practical. Next week on Monday she have grammar and mental math. I think it's Tuesday. I see when I reading and checking through the social studies, they asking, she just turned 7. They asking her, and she have a question. She have a question you get to look at and study and so on. But you have to deal with independence. And they have to ask these 6 and 7-year-olds to answer what they think is good for a country to be independent. Right? And understand this. I don't know what to tell her. Because I am saying, and I would like to show her some speeches probably from the independent senators in the Senate. You know, a little 2 minutes, 3 minutes, say this is important because daddy is a politician, he's a UNC. And she doesn't know Rowley ain't no good. She'll know that. You could discuss that with her. She has the evidence. And daddy's supposed to be able to put on Channel 11 and say, well, independence, in order to go with her studies that the teachers are teaching them about the importance of independence and independent institutions, I should be able to turn on the Parliament channel for a Senate debate and put on an independent senator and explain to her, well, daddy was on this side saying XYZ, and Rowley and them, that's the best I could do, are saying something else. But here's an independent senator who looked and gave a decision, an opinion, and you know, daddy can understand that. That's the importance of independence and being independent. I am supposed to be able to take up the 3 newspapers she sees her daddy reading and going through and pulling out all of these things all day long. She sees that. So I would love to go to her and say, well, being independent means that all the people could listen and trust in the information. And these newspapers, they are independent and they give you the facts. They go and do investigations, and so that when you read them, you can have confidence that they are telling you the truth. But I can't do that. How am I going to do that? I go lie to my child? I supposed to be able to show her a picture of the President of the Republic and say, well, this position is supposed to be an independent position and supposed to be above the fray, supposed to read your constitution that you're learning about, the teachers teaching about flag, emblem, national flower, national bird, and so on. I am supposed to say, well, this is your president. Her name is Paula May Weeks. She's independent and she's the guardian of the Constitution, and she does not let anybody interfere with. But I can't say that. What are you going to teach my children, Paul Richards? You say in the Senate, the children are watching. The children are watching you. The children are watching Senator Vera. The children are watching Thomas Aye say that the Wali money spent at the Nagar is frivolous money, like spending it on carnival wine and jam. The children are watching. What do I tell my child? And she kind of bright. What do I tell her? Because the teachers tell me to teach her the importance of independence. Well, I should be able to say, well, the Commissioner of Police is independent. You know that the Commissioner of Police has the power to arrest the Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, the President, whoever. The Commissioner of Police could arrest anybody. The DPP's office is independent and no Attorney General could impact and interfere with a criminal. I can't tell she that Jacob, because she tell me don't walk with Jacob because Jacob just walk and shake up. How I could tell them that now? How I could tell my daughter that what is independent? What I could teach she? I wish they change the questions or the topic from independence to dictatorship. If it is dictatorship, well boy, I could teach you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She could learn about dictatorship real good. She could ace that test because it have example after example. As we talk about dictatorship, merit list. Now merit list stay, they pelt away the old merit list just so, and Rowley and them bring an order to basically say, fire Bungary. I will determine who will be Commissioner of Police because I, Rowley, is the dictator and I must say who is there, and that next Commissioner of Police must follow my instructions because my president done appoint Miguel Maxine Atong, who is attack the black people in UNC and say UNC is vile. My PNM strong will girl who will do my bidding, Maxine PNM Atong, I appoint she. And I appoint Maxine King, Alan Warner boy, securities, securities, oh God, Studley Park, quarry, investment, 15.2 million loan. I in business with Alan Warner since 2008. My farm with Kai Townsend and thing. I am a people today. My peoples have been appointed by my president. And my peoples will select my Commissioner of Police, and I will be the de facto Commissioner of Police, says Mr. Tutu Suit, and that's where we are. So if I am to teach my child for an exam this week about independence, I am going to fail because all the examples I can show her leads directly to dictatorship, tyrannical dictatorship, oppression, and it cannot be tolerated. And this Prime Minister is calling people disrespectful and all kind of thing. Rowley, Archie Rowley calling people disrespectful. Archie, remind him who really disrespectful now.
And they want to know why we have not diversified the economy. Just drink your rum and get on my face. I choose my word very carefully. You could behave as an effective opposition leader. I think the country is better for that. But geometry is not really the way to deal with these things.
Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC go and put that bill where the monkey put the nuts.
You see these boots I'm wearing? We the farmers of Tobago and Texas, we call them shit kickers, right? And I'm hoping that I'll meet Dr. Munilal today, but I haven't met him so far. Take it in your pooch. And I go, of course, like a woman. You got to groom her every day. Or a pooch east. Want to talk about party elites and meet him outside on the pavement.
Bring him, bring her, with licks in your waist, licks in your face, and licks all over your paper place.
And then that, you call on the Prime Minister to do something about crime. I'm not in your bedroom, I'm not in the choice of men. That is tantamount to hugging up a porcupine to go to bed. Because I will tell you, like she loved you, like she loved no other man. But I can tell you all something. Every month I get my salary. I work very hard for it. I am in no position to take $1. I want every cent I work for and I want it on time. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Sucking from the nipple of the Prime Minister, figuratively. Figuratively. To rape us with an umbrella, and worse, to open the umbrella. And she could jump high, she could jump low. She could drink this She will drink that. She will back in the jug because they ignore she can. And you will see government ministers who came into office looking like Miss Howard Chat.
Prime Minister, I'd like to take the conversation to a more social realm, the social climate. You look on social media.
It's Christmas time. We should have some drinks then.
Well, perhaps of the non-alcoholic flavor.
Well, that is not drink. And if I have to go to jail as a result of not responding to you in 14 days, come, I'm ready to go. I'm coming to the conclusion that it's all about respect. All about respect. If we're raising children, boys and girls, we start there to teach them to respect. And if we're in the workplace or if you're on the street talking to strangers, it's about respect. It's just shut your mouth and let your land to go strive.
Are you serious? Are you serious? You all want me to go and teach my child to be like that? My child? No. My child reading Kamla Prasad Bisesa autobiography. Okay? You all could teach your children to be that. But I could tell you, if anything like that come around my little daughter, and he talking about respect. A man who's a teacher back in 1969 and impregnate a girl, a little child of school age, talking about respect and attacking other human beings. No office of the Prime Minister in the Commonwealth has ever been dragged so low down by a human being. That wasn't all, you know. That's just a few clips Vishnu and Archie put together for me, you know. Just like that. That wasn't no exhaustive research, you know, of that fellow. And because of some party with a red jersey and a sweet song, you all vote for that? PNM people should be shamed. His picture is up next to Dr. Williams, George Chambers, and Patrick Manning on your $120 million Balize house that nobody know where the money come from. Raffle ticket. So all I have to say to you all is, respect is earned, and that man has earned none. That man bounced on a woman in Tobago and did not budge. He don't even have instinctive respect. His instinct, his humanity does not exist. He didn't even flinch, and then say, nah, I don't care about you. It's really sad when your instinct of humanity is gone. You know how callous and heartless a human had to be to have no instinct to protect women. You saw that disgusting clown flirting and tracking a man's wife who's a reporter. What, Matt Iramatur, you like that? Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? And when we talk about respect and independence, well, I cannot teach my child about how to discuss the importance about independent institutions because I sit down in a Senate with a bag of clowns led by Senator Massa. But I have to deal with him, Archie. Senator Massa, and it have more to come. I have plenty things to ask you about back in 1985. I'm finishing off the research. But Senator Massa, you have questions to answer with your pompous, arrogant self. Run it, Archie. John, because a senator is toting feelings. We just had the Minister of Agriculture. He came out and made some statements going all across the globe and trying to correlate or interact or compare a debate and a request for debate with insurrection, violence, murder in the U.S. Capitol. I can't believe what I heard from the Minister of Agriculture. he came and said that senators on this part before the Electoral College were asking him about security. I thought he's the Minister of Agriculture, not the Minister of National Security. What were they asking him for? Two cassava to walk in? For what? This is drama and nonsensical to the highest order by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. He said, and he quoted from Mays, and he said, slanderous statements and malicious statements and abusive statements are unparliamentary. Well, this was a novel case put forward by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. It seems that he is doing some law classes. He talked about constitutional law, and you would know that that's the first course you do when you start your LLB. But he presented not one quote, not one bit of evidence, not one statement from the Hansard which could be described as even unparliamentary, but started to talk about slanderous, wicked, malicious and abusive statements, and not one example could he give in 30 minutes. Neither could the Honorable Senator Vera in 40 minutes piloting this motion. We did not hear. I asked them to please put on record one statement from the Electoral College, one statement recorded that could be considered unparliamentary. Even today in this debate, as 15 PNM senators sit there, they had to call one from downstairs to come and debate because of the weakness of the bench of the government here. And even the president had to pull that minister up for unparliamentary language. But not one word. Not one word from the Hansard. We heard terms, not one quote from Senator Vera. So, and then Senator Paul Richards would like to support the motion. He back, but then he wants to support the motion because we have to have a committee to determine what's unparliamentary. Well, the PNM and this independent bench would like to make certain words unparliamentary. Well, I scoured the Hansard, including the official Hansard and the crosstalk, and hear what's going to be unparliamentary that would cause insurrection of 1990 and the Capitol in the US where people died and so on. Undemocratic. The committee after this vote is going to go and say the word undemocratic is malicious and abusive. Please read the motion. We have not heard the motion. Madam Speaker, please read the motion. That's malicious, vindictive, vile, and unparliamentary according to this PNM and this independent senator's motion. Singing for supper. Singing, so there will be no more choir in Trinidad and Tobago, and supper, we won't eat. What is unparliamentary? Secret ballot? We should have a secret ballot, please, because we would like the independent senators to be able to vote their conscience without being put under pressure. That is totally unparliamentary. Let's call a committee together to vote and sanction these opposition senators. Oh my goodness, they are so terrible. Let's get them out of here. Trinidad Suite, unconstitutional, shame, illegal guidelines. These are some of the phrases that were used in the Electoral College. Not one word, not one unparliamentary word, not one bit of evidence produced by an independent senator who's supposed to be an outstanding lawyer. Senator Paul Richards is a media practitioner, a very good one, and he's been there for decades. But he came here to suggest to the Parliament, to the Senate, and to the population that he may have erred by speaking to a reporter. But if you're an experienced media practitioner across Trinidad and Tobago, very qualified and so on, you would know that if there was a combative situation between two adversarial systems or parties in a political system that has been constitutionally created, and if you are the independent senator, that it's very easy for you to say, no comment, reporter. I'm not getting involved in that. That is PNM and UNC business. I stay out of it. But Senator Richards chose to speak, and he chose to attack, and Senator Vera chose to attack. And in his first 40 minutes, Senator Vera pretended that on the 23rd of October, 2 days after the Electoral College, that he was quoted extensively in the Express, attacking the opposition, attacking Kamala Prasad-Bissessa, attacking his fellow colleagues, senators, attacking Jayanti Lakshmi-Dayal, attacking everyone. He just clearly forgot that. And any response to that came after his initial attack. And if he's an attorney, a learned one, he would know that self-defense is a defense. So if you pelt the first salvo and if you attack first, then you must prepare for a response. No one attacked you. No one abused you. No one was malicious. This motion is vacuous. The Minister of Energy and the Honorable Minister of Energy and Energy Industries came here today. And I'm not so sure if he was supposed to debate because he was clearly unprepared. And I do not believe that he would come here and on purpose mislead the House. But everybody would know that when the Electoral College or the joint sitting of Parliament was called, the parliamentarians duly elected, the lower house was called first and the motion was read there. We, the upper house, did not have that opportunity. So for the Honorable Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs to come here and say that all of us were there when we were not, either he's confused, he's overworked, or he's tired because he has many portfolios that some of the senators like the Minister of Agriculture could help him out, but they don't seem to have confidence in him, so they give one man everything. But furthermore, why was this motion here today read out? That's the practice. We all got it on email, but I listened carefully as the Honorable President read out the motion, but we had all received it. That is the procedure. So to come here and say that the opposition was malicious and wicked because they would have liked the motion to be read, as is the practice of this Parliament, is totally untoward and absolutely not on. I want to thank the Honorable Minister of Energy Affairs and Acting Attorney General for denouncing and distancing himself from us, the United National Congress. On this side, we want to thank him for that. Thank you, sir, because we on this side do not respect nor identify with at all any Johnny O'Halloran want to be. And we're back. Yes. So independent senators, they have a proud history, but that history is gone and tarnished. The independent position of police commissioner will forever be tarnished, and Rowley is the de facto commissioner of police. The police service commission, tarnished. The president's office, tarnished. The EBC, tarnished. Attempts being made to tarnish the office of the DPP, attempts being made to tarnish the judiciary. We are in the throes of a dictatorship. Rowley, Tutusuit Rowley, is a dictator, a tyrannical dictator, and the only thing to happen to save this country from that is to vote him out. Tobago, you have your chance. We, the country, will be looking on at you for guidance, for leadership, and to save Trinidad and Tobago from dictatorship. Good night.
The voice of the people is the voice of God. The tables are turning, your eyes are opening. Welcome to the revolution.
People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom.
Want freedom.
Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand. Yeah.
Come on! Cause this is the revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution.
Let's unite and stand for something.
This is the revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters.